Coming to you live from Berea, Ohio, it's time for the biggest OAC basketball game of the year, the crosstown rivalry between your host, Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, and their crosstown rival, the John Carroll Blue Streaks here. It's the fourth last regular season game in the OAC schedule, and it's a big one here tonight. Thanks so much for joining us on BWYellowJackets.com. I'm Brendan Gulick, and boy, do we have a good matchup for you tonight. It's the 14-7 Blue Streaks. They're 8-6 in conference play against the 11-10 Yellow Jackets, who are 7-7 in OAC regulation. And both of these teams really right now fighting to have OAC home games, but not only that, but to avoid playing in the first round on Monday of the tournament, as one of these two teams has a good potential to be one of the top four seeds. Seeds 5 through 8 would play on Monday of the tournament. BW 29-15 all-time at home in this series, so they have a decisive edge in that idea. But the Blue Streaks took the opening meeting of the season in University Heights, a thrilling game, 71-69, went all the way to the wire. John Carroll at one point had a 12-point lead at 39-27 with about 3:29 to go in the first half. And throughout the end of the first half and in through the beginning of the second half, Baldwin Wallace cut into the lead a little bit, then kind of surrendered as they kind of crept away. It was 61-50 midway through the second half. Then with 2 minutes left, it was 69-61 in favor of John Carroll. Kyle Payne hit a layup and was fouled, hit his free throw. Next possession down the floor, hit a three-point shot. And after a John Carroll basket, Jaron Crow hit a layup with 12 seconds left to cut it to 71-69. John Carroll had the basketball, turned it over. Kyle Payne had an opportunity to try to tie it at the buzzer, but failed to connect, and the Blue Streaks held on to win. The biggest thing in the game to take note of, BW forced 20 John Carroll turnovers, but they only hit 3 of 22 three-pointers. That was a big blow for BW in the game, obviously shooting the three-point shot really well lately. David Hendrickson, a guard for the Blue Streaks, did hit a three ball on 4 straight possessions down the floor in the first half, so he definitely is a big guy to watch. John Carroll did block 8 shots in the ball game. Their rebounding margin was plus 5, and freshman guard from Gilmore Academy, David Linnane, did not play in that ball game because of an eligibility issue. He has had a good season for the Blue Streaks, so he will play tonight for John Carroll. The Blue Streaks went 8-2 in the 2013 part of the season, with their only 2 losses at Mount Union, who's leading the conference, and at Rose-Hulman, who's got an All-American guard. So really, they got off to a much better start than people anticipated after the losses they've had to graduation in the last couple seasons. John Carroll been 6-5 in the 2014 part of the schedule, and their largest win of those 6 was 9 points, all of them single-digit efforts, and that 9-point win was actually a double overtime game. This is the second of 3 very tough games in a row for the Blue Streaks. They beat Capital on Saturday to extend their winning streak to 3 in a row. They beat Capital 85-80 on their home floor, obviously here in Berea tonight before traveling to Wilmington, who's 3rd in the conference. We'll go to Wilmington on Saturday and wrap up the season with Otterbein and Marietta. No seniors on the John Carroll team. There are 3 juniors, so a very young Blue Streak squad who over the last decade, and really actually last 2 decades, under the tutelage of Mike Moran, their head coach, they have been the OAC powerhouse school. BW coming off a huge win at Wilmington, 65-61. They will finish the season at home tonight and Saturday against John Carroll and Marietta, and then they will go to Heidelberg and to Muskingum to close out the season. They started off the year 5-1, but since then, the preseason #1 team in the conference, Baldwin Wallace, has only gone 6-9. Their only sweep of the season has been the Otterbein Cardinals, and they've only been swept by Mount Union, so a very balanced season, and that's reflected in their 7-7 record. Certainly BW has played well in their last 3 games, especially the last time they were at home. On Wednesday last week, a school record 18 three-point shots went down in a losing effort, 104-98. Krevin Krakowiak had a career-high 36 points and also set a school record with individually 9 three-pointers. The biggest thing for BW, they have struggled against forwards of the opposition. Jarrett Ruffin from Mount Union had 21 points and 15 of them from the free throw line. In the ball game against Wilmington, Malcolm Hurd had 16 points. He's the leading scorer in the conference. And R.J. Leppert, who's also a forward for the Wilmington Quakers, dropped 17. Last time these two teams met, Jake Hollinger and Simon Kucharowicz, the 2 forwards for John Carroll, had 13 and 14 apiece, and Kucharowicz missed 7 free throws. So Baldwin Wallace, who all season long has had good guard play defensively, they have not particularly played well under the basket, and we will tell you here shortly the starting lineup. It is a smaller unit tonight. BW has played well lately with a smaller unit on the floor. We're going to take a timeout as either of the two teams are heading off of the floor. Their shoot-around in the pregame is done. BW trots back over to their bench. When we come back, the national anthem will have concluded, and we'll give you the starting lineups. It's John Carroll and Baldwin Wallace. Biggest game of the conference slate for these two teams here tonight on BWYellowJackets.com. Today's Yellow Jacket basketball game is brought to you by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. We're located in downtown Cleveland and at our new location in Kidron. Call us today at 216-421-2775 or go online to olyforest.com. Also brought to you by the Oreo Cafe, a great place for sports. Oreo Cafe is located at 294 North Rocky River Drive here in Berea, just 2 minutes away from campus. It's the right choice before or after the game. The national anthem is concluded. The starting lineups are being introduced on the floor. Let's give them to you live here in Berea. First for the John Carroll Blue Streaks, who are 14-7 on the season, 8-6 in conference play. It's a sophomore guard, 5'10", from Menor, Ohio, who wears number 5. It's Danny Wallach. Wallach has hit 44 three-pointers in the season. That's tied for the team lead, averaging 10.3 points per ball game. A sophomore guard from Euclid Lake Catholic High School, number 23, Joey Vianchik. Vianchik making his 21st start of the season. He is averaging 9.6 points per game and has been a big piece for the John Carroll offense this season. 6'4" freshman guard from Berkshire High School, Tim Ludlow. Ludlow making his 5th start of the season, though he's played in every game so far, averaging 15 minutes a night. Ludlow is a decent free throw shooter. He's knocked down 22 on the season, 4 points and a rebound and a half an evening. The leader of this team, number 33, David Hendrickson. He's a 6'2" junior guard from Saline, Michigan. Hendrickson has started now all 22 games, 12.7 points per night, 4.3 rebounds per ball game as well, and he is one of 3 juniors on this squad with no seniors. He definitely is a leader. Another junior and the 5th starter, 6'6" junior from Chardon, Ohio. It's Jake Hollinger. Hollinger is the big man in the middle, making his 22nd start. 1 field goal shy of 100 on the season. He's a 52% shooter from the floor, averaging 12.3 points a game and just under 7 rebounds per night. The Blue Streaks are led in his 22nd season by the winningest head coach in John Carroll history and the fifth active coach, rather the 5th winningest coach all time in the OAC, but the most active wins of any coach at 392 and a 206 all-time record. He's 246 and 132 in conference play. That's Mike Moran, again the longest tenured coach in the OAC in his 22nd season. For the BW Yellow Jackets here tonight, a little bit of a smaller starting lineup. The junior guard from Menor, Ohio, Jaron Crow, will be the point. Crow, one of 3 guys on this team who are averaging more than 16 points per game. All 3 of them are in the top 5 in the conference in scoring. Crow is also a 37% three-point shooter. Junior forward Matt Dennis, 6'5", from Spring Hill, Florida, makes his 18th start of the season. He's averaging 5.5 points and 6 rebounds per night. Senior guard Grant Fairhurst gets the start tonight. He's 6'2", 179 pounds, from Ashland. Fairhurst is the 2nd leading three-point shooter in the OAC in terms of career three-pointers. He's averaging just 22 minutes a night, and he's knocked down 40 triple tries this season. Kevin Krakowiak, the reigning OAC Player of the Week, 6'5" senior guard from Holy Name High School. Boy, did he have a good week. Averaged 32.5 points per game in the games against Mount Union and Wilmington this week, including the one where he broke the school record. And on top of that, Krakowiak with 15 three-pointers this past week. Excellent contest for him. And then finally, one of the best players in all the country, Kyle Payne, a 6'6 senior forward from Brunswick, making start number 20 in his 21st game, averaging 16.5 points a night and 6.3 rebounds a night. The Blue Streaks in their road navy tops, BW in their home white tops. Hollinger out-jumps Kyle Payne, and we are underway here in Berea. Thanks for joining us tonight on BWYellowJackets.com. Ludlow working into the right corner. It's Hendrickson with the ball over his head, up top to Wallach. Danny Wallach has hit 98 career three-pointers. He's a good three-point shooter as well, and he turns it over as he tries to bounce it into the low paint. And BW will get the ball here on the baseline. John Carroll, very well known throughout the conference for their 5-in, 5-out routine, and they press most of the game. A very good, energetic team. They really rely on their depth. That is definitely their strength this season. Krakowiak for three on the right side, and he starts it with a bucket. Evan Krakowiak gets it going as BW takes an early 3-0 lead over the 11th-ranked scoring offense in the country in John Carroll. Hendrickson gives off. That was Danny Wallach on the right side through the paint, and laying it in is Tim Ludlow, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Krakowiak going to give off as BW passes its way up the floor. You'll notice the student section off to the left here tonight. It's Swarm the Gym Night. Much better showing here from BW students than usual. Nice to have the big spirit at the game as Matt Dennis lays in a bucket. The cheerleaders, who also usually are on the baseline that the Blue Streaks are shooting at right now, have moved off to the left-hand side of the floor on the sideline. Here's Vianchik, and he's going to throw it to the right wing. Ludlow tripping his way through the paint on the right side. 15 to shoot it for the Blue Streaks. BW leads at 5-2. Hendrickson drives his way through the paint, lost the basketball. Jaron Crow comes up with it, passes up the floor. Krakowiak wide open, but he's off to the left. Jake Hollinger with the rebound, second in the conference in rebounding this season. Here's Vianchik for three on the right wing, and he gets it, knotting the ball game at 5 apiece. Vianchik has hit now 21 three-pointers on the season, so good for just about one a night. Crow pressured in the backcourt, but he passes it up top there for Kevin Krakowiak. Yellow Jackets with numbers, and Krakowiak raises from the free throw line and missed. Here comes Vianchik up the floor. 5-5 ball game, just 2.5 minutes gone by here in Berea. Hollinger, a 15-footer, and it missed the rim. Crow with a bounce pass into the low right post, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by BW. 5 in, 5 out for the Blue Streaks. Will Starks, Simon Kacharowicz, Nick Ruckel, David Linane, who you definitely want to keep your eye on. He wears number 10. And number 45, who just inbounded the ball, is Doug Caputo. Linane and Caputo, a pair of freshmen who've made a big impact for the Blue Streaks early in the year. John Carroll has fallen to the ground a lot on offense. Wonder if it might be a little slippery on the hard court. 5-5 ball game. Caputo swings left side, and he'll give off to Will Starks. Starks has played in every game. That's, again, one of the big things for this Blue Streaks team. 10 guys are averaging double-digit minutes, and 8 different players have played every game this season as Linane finds Ruckel, and they quickly lay it in for 2 points. Crow passes the ball half the length of the floor and opens up a NBA range three that was not really a good look from Grant Fairhurst. John Carroll going to try to add to its 2-point lead. Ruckel, who just had the layup, tries another one and missed. And Simon Kacharowicz goes over the back and picks up his first foul. Kacharowicz with a bunch of family and friends here tonight. He's from Mid-Park High School, which, of course, is now combined with Berea, but played for the Mid-Park Meteors in high school. BW doing a good job of breaking the Blue Streak press early on, and Krakowiak is left wide open again. He misfires from 3. Kacharowicz with the rebound, and here comes Linane up the floor. Into the left corner now. Ruckel gives it back to Linane. BW hit only 3 of 22 threes the first time these two teams met. Kacharowicz high off the window, and it missed. You get the sense that both of these two teams have a little bit of nervous energy here in the early going, but John Carroll with a slight 2-point lead as BW turns it over in the high post. Here's Kacharowicz up the floor, and he is fouled very hard. An intentional foul is called against Grant Fairhurst as Kacharowicz hit the deck hard and gets up clapping. Well, I understand the desire to make sure he doesn't get a basket, but that was a very hard foul by Simon Kacharowicz, or rather on Simon Kacharowicz. The foul is going to go against Grant Fairhurst. That brings the fans to their highest vocal pitches of the night. Kacharowicz hits the first free throw. Some John Carroll fans cheering, and of course BW fans none too happy. I think head coach Mike Moran, who's already taken his tie off over on the bench, was hoping for a flagrant foul, but it was an intentional foul called. So free throws both go down for Kacharowicz. He's got 2 points in the early going. 16:02 left. John Carroll leads at 9-5. Kacharowicz to the right side of the floor. Here's Linane for three, and he cans it. 7-point lead for the Blue Streaks. And a foul in the backcourt on Nicholas Ruckel. Ruckel picks up his first. That's the team's second foul. Linane hits his first three-pointer. He's only played now in his 15th game of the season. Again, had some ineligibility issues right around the time of Christmas break and missed some time for the Blue Streaks. Largest deficit of this early ball game here in Berea for BW. They trail 12-5. They trailed by no more than 12 points when they played John Carroll the first time around on the road in a 71-69 loss. Matt Dennis, the baseline jumper, and he got it. 12-7, Dennis with a couple of baskets now. Caputo shuffled the shoes. BW gets it back, 15-20 left, and a couple of substitutions coming into the ball game for the Yellow Jackets as Jalen Hollinger and Tyler Farrell check in. Farrell typically in the starting lineup, but not tonight as BW chose to go with a smaller group. Hollinger almost bumped it out of bounds, and I guess it was last touched by the Blue Streaks. John Carroll brings 5 new faces to the bench, and I think our officials are going to discuss it. Head official, the one who's about to hand the ball over in front of the BW bench there to Jalen Hollinger, that's Mike McKee. Jeff Visicki is also in the backcourt, and the official in the front court is Scott Seville. Good defense by the Blue Streaks. It's tipped out of bounds and last touched by John Carroll's number 23, Joey Vianchik. An active sophomore. That press has looked pretty good from John Carroll so far, but BW has broken it almost every time. Crow drew the double team. It'll be Krakowiak to bring it up the floor. He gives off to Kyle Payne. Payne, who is battling some bruised ribs. Crow for three, a little bit off, and Hollinger grabs the rebound. 12-7 Blue Streaks, Vianchik to Hendrickson, who ball fakes and travels. So BW gets it back and another Blue Streak turnover. Crow brings it across the timeline for the Yellow Jackets. Jared Crow, 124 assists on the season, leads all players with about 5.5 per night. Krakowiak, who had that great week, ball faked. Now back to the top of the circle. Here's Kyle Payne. Crow with a ball fake and drive. He raises with the right hand, and it's a little off the mark. Danny Wallach, the guard, with the rebound, throws it up the floor. And David Hendrickson corrals it for John Carroll. Ludlow out to Hendrickson for three on the right wing, and David Hendrickson's a little off. Jalen Hollinger with the rebound. John Carroll with a 12-7 lead, 14-14 left in the first half. Krakowiak tried to cut into the lead but missed his three. Good rebound for Tyler Farrell. Out to Crow. He'll shoot it from deep. He's off the mark. BW not shooting the ball well from distance early on, but they're certainly a team that's capable of connecting and getting hot quick. Crow over to Kyle Payne. Only one three-pointer so far for the Yellow Jackets in this one. Crow into the left corner. Farrell can shoot from distance. He'll try it. And the ball hits the front of the rim and skips over. Vianchik gets the John Carroll rebound. Crowd still filing in as David Hendrickson puts up sort of a flat three-point shot, and it missed. One and done for the Blue Streaks. The Yellow Jackets flying up the floor. Crow spinning through the lane, puts a nice move on his defender and lays it in for two. 12-9 ball game. The Blue Streaks with a one-possession lead. And that three-pointer by Vianchik was off the rim. So BW could tie it with a triple here this time down the floor. Crow into Kyle Payne. And blocked by Tim Ludlow, but fouled, I believe, by Hollinger. We'll see exactly who they put it against. Two free throws upcoming for Kyle Payne. And it will go against Danny Wallach, his first personal and team first. Well, Baldwin Wallace, 3 of the last 4 years, has been the best free throw shooting team in the OAC. But this year, they've been really dreadful. In fact, they're 9th out of the 10 teams as a squad, shooting just 67.7% from the stripe. Only John Carroll is worse at 64.4%. So a big drop-off for BW as Kyle Payne misses the first. And he misses both. New group on the floor for the Blue Streaks: Lenane, Ruckel, Caputo, Kacharowitz, and Starks. And a traveling violation by Ruckel in front of the Baldwin Wallace bench. He picked up the pivot foot before he started to dribble, much to his dismay and that of the coaching staff. And they've changed the last foul to Jake Hollinger, number 50. That's kind of what I thought, not on Danny Wallach. So Hollinger's got 1 and 3 team fouls against the Blue Streaks. 12-9 score. BW trails it by 3 with 12:50 to go in the opening half. Brandy, the point guard for BW, just checked in. Now to Farrell. Into the right corner. Brandy open. The lefty shoots a 3. It's in and out. Good offensive rebound by Farrell. He fights on the baseline but can't get it to drop. Caputo with the John Carroll rebound, and the Blue Streaks push it. Ruckel in transition. What a basket, and he draws a foul. Holy smokes. Good body control by Nick Ruckel. Foul is going to go against Zach Brandy, his first, team second. So Ruckel going to try to complete the three-point play. Short out of his hand from the line, and he was boxed out well by Hollinger and couldn't get his own board. So the Jackets get it back. 5-point deficit for BW. They led it 3-0 after they hit the first shot of the ball game. That was from Krakowiak. Hollinger underneath, and he threw it to a cameraman. That's okay. Another BW turnover, though. John Carroll had 20 turnovers the first time these two teams met. And the Blue Streaks are averaging 11.8 turnovers. I'm sorry, John Carroll averaging 15.3 turnovers a game. BW at just 11.8. Lenane for 3, shoots it way too far, and Kyle Payne grabs the rebound. Payne, a preseason All-American. He's been a 3-time Conference Player of the Year. Gives to Fairhurst, and he airballs a 3. Yellow Jackets are shooting the ball very poorly this evening to start. But they're only 5 points out of it. 11:39 left in the first half. John Carroll with the basketball on the offensive side of the floor, averaging 85.5 points per game. And another John Carroll turnover, this time Fairhurst. And he has it poked away by Lenane. So 2 very quick turnovers. A no-look pass to Ruckel. He'll raise from deep 2, and it's too short. BW gets the rebound. This John Carroll offense is second in the OAC in scoring offense. The last 5 of the last 8 years, they've been the top scoring team in the conference. They've had some really good players the last few years, including an All-American guard, Corey Shantz. In fact, they had 3 of the best guards in the country. That one off the mark from Fairhurst. Hollinger with the offensive rebound, and he's fouled on the way up. Hollinger going to go to the stripe on John Carroll's 4th foul of the day. And the foul will go against Caputo, his first, team 4th. So 4 different guys with a foul. Hollinger's free throw is up and in. And it's a 14-10 ball game, so kind of a slow start for this Yellow Jackets offense that, boy, the last 3 times out, they have shot the lights out. Wilmington, they didn't score very many points, but they played well, 65-61. Scored 98 points in a loss to Mount Union at home last week, and they beat Otterbein on the road 74-70 a week ago this past Wednesday. One more from the line, and Hollinger knocks it in. 14-11, Hollinger's replaced in the floor by the sharpshooter Krakowiak. Kevin Krakowiak, 4th in Baldwin Wallace, rather 17th in Baldwin Wallace history with 1,282 points. He's actually the 4th active leading scorer in OAC basketball. Wallach for 3. He was open and he knocks it in. Danny Wallach, a dangerous 3-point shooter. Shows he can can him from downtown too. Wallach on the season averaging 40% from downtown. This is Zach Brandy controlling the point with Crow on the bench right now for Baldwin Wallace. 10:20 left in the half. BW trails it by 6. Krakowiak was open, guarded by David Hendrickson. Blue Streaks playing man-to-man defense, a mismatch between Simpson and Wallach, and it's blocked at the top of the arc. Hollinger swats Krakowiak and goes coast to coast and misses the layup, and then fouls Brandy. How about that for a turn of events? You don't typically see Kevin Krakowiak swatted around the three-point line, but Hollinger is one of the better blockers in all the country. That's his 46th block shot of the season, but Krakowiak never gave up on it, forced Hollinger to adjust his shot, and he missed the lay-in. Brandy is replaced on the floor by Jaron Crow after Hollinger picks up his 2nd foul of the night. Krakowiak being guarded by the freshman guard, Tim Ludlow. Great ball handling skills, but the pass underneath the basket was mishandled as John Carroll did a good job defensively, rotating over. Good ball game, 17-11. The Blue Streaks with the slight edge here. In the women's contest, John Carroll with a 16-13 lead halfway through the opening frame. The winner of that game is a very good chance to host the OAC tournament, so definitely we'll keep our eyes on that one. Vianchik at the top of the circle to Wallach. He just hit a 3. Good bounce pass to Ludlow, and he misses the 10-footer, followed his own shot, went to the rim, and it missed. Hollinger fighting for the offensive board. The Blue Streaks get it back and try to capitalize, and they do. They're the best rebounding team in the OAC, and John Carroll made BW pay there. It's 20-11. Blue Streaks with a 9-point lead, their largest of the game. Dennis double-teamed in front of the blue and gold bench. Good pass through the middle, and a block underneath as Kevin Krakowiak was headed to the rim. Foul will go against Tim Ludlow, his first. And that's the 6th foul against the Blue Streaks, who every foul the rest of the way will send the Yellow Jackets to the free throw line. Kevin Krakowiak up and good, on top of being 17th in Baldwin Wallace history in points. He's also the leading active three-point shooter in the OAC. 4th in the conference in career scoring, but again, the 189 three-pointers entering tonight. He hit 1 early on. He's got 4 points now in this one and makes it a 20-13 game. Blue Streaks have it on offense, trying to add to their lead. This is Vianchik. He'll bounce to Hendrickson into the high post. Ludlow with a give-and-go pass, deflected out of bounds by the Jackets. 8:47 left in the first half. Jordan Murphy going to check in for Tim Ludlow. It is the first appearance of the night for Jordan Murphy. Murphy is the 3rd junior on this team with Hendrickson and Hollinger. 8:40 left in the first half. Murphy with the ball, wearing a brace on his left knee, and he turns it over. Good pick by the Yellow Jackets. They'll try to make him pay. Crow, hesitation dribble through the lane. High off the window, no. Dennis, the putback. It doesn't go either. Tipped out, and a great play by Crow to get it to Fairhurst. Good veteran play by the guard, Jaron Crow, the junior from Menor. Crow, who really runs this offense well, throws to Simpson, and he'll put a 3 up and in. Jaron Crow almost single-handedly kept that possession alive. Wallach going to try to answer for 3, and it's short out of his hand. The rebound was tipped into the backboard and now controlled by BW. 8 minutes left in the first half. 4-point game. In rhythm 3 for Fairhurst, and he'll put it in. 2 quick threes by BW. Fairhurst with his first basket of the evening, and the Yellow Jackets have pulled within 1. 7:45 left in the opening half. Murphy lobs it up top as the Blue Streaks working around the arc. This is Vianchik. Picks up his dribble and throws to Hollinger. Hollinger, who's got 2 fouls, goes to Murphy, who almost traveled. Tries to throw it back out. 7 to shoot it. Vianchik dribbles behind his back. And a blocking foul on the way up. Kevin Krakowiak played such good defense almost the whole time. But a little bit of a body check. And Krakowiak picks up his first personal. Luckily for BW, that's only the 3rd team foul. And the Blue Streaks will send some new faces on the floor here. Vianchik from the line. The first one in and out. No good. And he's hit only 74% of his free throws on the season. 59 of 80 entering the ball game. Trying to add to his 1-point lead. It's short out of his hand. The Blue Streaks have been terrible from the line. Kacharowicz's putback doesn't go. His second putback doesn't go. And a ball that I guess went over the backboard and was off of the wire. So it will stay with John. No, it's going to go to BW. Well, now the officials are going to meet to see exactly what happened. Some new faces on the floor for the Blue Streaks. Caputo, Linane, Starks, Ruckel, and Hollinger, and they reverse the call and give the ball to John Carroll. Dwayne Sheldon in his 12th year as a head coach in this conference, 6th year at BW, 142-164 record in those 12 seasons as a head coach. He's 89-113 in OAC play. 3rd longest tenured head coach in the OAC right now. He stands on the sideline in front of his own bench with his hands in his pockets. Caputo at the top of the key. I'll bounce back out to Ruckel. Under 7 minutes to play in the opening half. The Blue Streaks only lead it by 1. Only lead for BW was 3-0 out of the gate. Linane almost spun around, now to Kacharowicz, and he was blocked into the backboard by Matt Dennis, but apparently hip checked as well, and Dennis is not happy with the foul call. That's a tough break because that was a pretty nice looking block from Matt Dennis. First foul on Dennis, 4th team foul. So Kacharowicz, he goes back to the free throw line. He's a little off to the right. It's been a pretty chippy game. Some clean fouls with the exception of just the one intentional foul on Fairhurst early on when Kacharowicz basically had a fast break. And Kacharowicz misses both of them. He's missed 4 straight free throws. Ruckel in the lane just throws it off the window and somehow it goes through, and Dwayne Sheldon just hangs his head on the far sideline, and you can understand why. Not really sure how that went into the basket. Blue Streaks pressure, forces a turnover. Here's Linane. Bounces it into the low post, and it's jarred free from Caputo. Student section on their feet at the hoop that BW shooting at in the first half. Here's Skylar Simpson for 3. It's too long. Caputo with the rebound. 6 minutes left in the opening period. Neither one of these two teams are particularly sharp tonight. And again, you wonder if they're just playing with some nervous energy. It is a big rivalry game. Kacharowicz is short at the rim, and Krakowiak corrals it. John Carroll won the first meeting, and they have a 1-game lead on BW in conference play. Blue Streaks 8-6, BW 7-7. OAC tournament seeding on the line in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. 3 games left after tonight. Fairhurst catch and shoot, deep 3, and it's just off. Caputo clears it for the Blue Streaks. Linane tries to add to the 3-point lead, and he is swatted out of bounds. Matt Dennis must have fouled Simon Kacharowicz the last time, but he made sure no contact there as he emphatically swatted the youngster. New faces on the floor for both squads. Hollinger, and it's Tyler Farrell and Kyle Payne that come back in to join Krakowiak and Crow. Linane to inbound for the Blue Streaks. 5:25 left in the opening half. It goes into Nicholas Ruckel. Ruckel is a sophomore for the Blue Streaks, having a pretty good year. He did not play much as a freshman. Starks the 3-pointer, and the lefty missed it. Kacharowicz up strong for the rebound. Almost traveled on his way up, but he missed another layup. Boy, Kacharowicz having a tough night. Crow, coast to coast, somehow avoided a block and a foul under the basket on BW. Holy smokes. Well, sitting on the end of the bench next to head coach Mike Moran is Pete Moran, the assistant coach. Pete is Mike's son and played on the 2002-2003 team at John Carroll that went to the NCAA Final Four. That foul went on Kyle Payne, his first. And the Blue Streaks draw another whistle. This one's going to go against Krakowiak, his second. It's the 6th team foul against BW, so both teams now at the limit. And Caputo goes to the line. Today's game brought to you by Integrity Realty Corporation. 5 locations to choose from in the Berea area, including 2 of them just right near campus here. Call today at 440-826-1812 or go online to mybereaapartment.com. 23-19 after the free throw goes in. Caputo one more time, the left-hander puts it in. BW hanging around. John Carroll's pressure's been pretty good in the first half, and they've forced a good number of turnovers. Hollinger gets it to Fairhurst, and he'll bring it across the timeline. Now Brandy controls between the circles. To the right side, Farrell. Now Kyle Payne. Fairhurst works it around the arc, now bounces low, and it's lost out of bounds by Jalen Hollinger. Hollinger, the freshman from Archbishop Holman, no relation to John Carroll's Jake Hollinger, the junior from Chardon. Baldwin Wallace has taken a 22-18 lead on John Carroll in the women's game with 5:45 left in the first half. And again, the winner of that ball game is in great shape to host the OAC tournament. BW wins, they could be co-champs. If John Carroll wins, BW would be in a tough spot. There's Hollinger with an easy layup, and it's back to a 7-point game. John Carroll leads it 26-19. Yellow Jackets turn it over again. 3-on-2 basketball. Hendrickson pulls it out. It was 20-13, and BW hit threes on consecutive trips up the floor, but since then, 6 straight field goals for the Blue Streaks, and they've missed shots from the free throw line, so it could be worse. So BW hanging tough as Hollinger picks up a foul, and that's the team's 7th, his first. So that will send Vianchik to the free throw line. The sophomore from Lake Catholic on his 1-and-1, knocks it in. (27-19), the Blue Streaks with a lead. Vianchik has 7 points, leading scorer for both teams right now on the floor. And the second one is off the mark. The Blue Streaks are having a very bad night from the free throw line. Under 4 minutes to play. BW trying to find a matchup that is favorable. Farrell to Kyle Payne, who's working on Ludlow. He'll drive on him, put it high off the window and knock it in. Senior Kyle Payne just took Tim Ludlow, the freshman, right down the lane. 27-21. Hollinger trying to answer, but instead of going to the rim, throws it out. Got it back, and now he's working on Farrell. Turns around, puts it up, and it missed. Blue Streaks have missed a lot of shots from close to the rim. Good defense for BW. Here's Farrell. He avoids a block, and he goes reverse. 27-23. Tyler Farrell with his first basket of the evening. Vianchik to Ludlow. Now Danny Wallach. Spinning through the key, putting it up with some touch, and it missed. Wallach fights for the rebound. The Blue Streaks have gotten a ton of offensive rebounds tonight. Vianchik will hit a three, and it's now 30-23. I don't know what the exact number is as John Carroll calls a 30-second timeout, but the Blue Streaks will tell you here shortly they've got a lot of second chance opportunities and points out of them here this evening. 2:56 left in the first half. It's 30-23. The Yellow Jackets trailing here at home. We'll be back in a minute on BWYellowJackets.com. Today's Yellow Jacket basketball game brought to you by the Hoffman Group. For all your insurance and risk management needs, we're located throughout Northeast Ohio to serve you better. Also brought to you by the Ohio Education Credit Union. Gain the advantage and build your future today. The Ohio Education Credit Union offers convenience, trust, and value. Visit our locations in Cleveland, Lyndhurst, Lakewood, Oberlin, or go online to ohioedcu.com. Hollinger kicked it into the backcourt, but no whistle was called, and now as it's loose on the floor, the Jackets pick it up. And now a whistle is blown. I'm not exactly sure why. There should have been one blown when Hollinger kicked it, incidentally. And a 10-second violation is called against BW. They said John Carroll never had possession of it. So another turnover for BW. Blue Streaks give it back to BW here with a 30-23 score, 2:30 left in the first half. On the right side, Crow controlling the point. BW would love to have something here at the end of the first half that they could build some momentum with. They cannot afford to lose two to the Blue Streaks this season. Crow, deep three, circles around and doesn't go through. Wallach with the rebound. He throws it to the left side and got it right back. 2 minutes left in the opening half. Wallach puts one with the right hand up in the left lane, and it missed. Fairhurst with the outlet pass. Crow to Kyle Payne. Blocking foul. Not a really good defensive play there at all, and Kyle Payne is disappointed as he claps his hands together there, disappointed in his inability to actually get the bucket to go through. But at least he's got two free throws coming as the foul is on Vianchik. Blue Streaks will once again go 5 in and 5 out with that substitution style, kind of a hockey style rotation. Kyle Payne connects on the first, and it's 30-24. Hollinger checks out for BW. It's Crow, Fairhurst, Brandy, Dennis, and Kyle Payne on the floor for BW. Hollinger, Caputo, Starks, Ruckel, and Lenane for the Blue Streaks. Payne, one more from the stripe. Nothing but net. Back to a 5-point deficit. BW hanging in there here late in the first half. Lenane goes to the right. Freshman tries to go baseline. He'll pass out. Caputo had it poked loose. Good defense there by Fairhurst. Now Lenane at the top of the circle, spins and puts up a deep two, and it's off the left side of the rim. Dennis skying for the rebound. In transition, Kyle Payne throws it up, and it just doesn't drop. Good body control as Simon Kacharowicz went right there with him. Kacharowicz definitely fouled him. He doesn't seem pleased. That's a second personal on Kacharowicz, who is having a tough first half. But Kyle Payne goes to the stripe, and he hits the first. John Carroll's only hit 10 of their 33 shots. Baldwin Wallace has hit only 9 of 28. Each team with 4 3-pointers as Starks and Ruckel check out. Hendrickson and Danny Wallach back on the floor, so the two better guards. And each team with 24 first-half rebounds. But it's the Blue Streaks who lead it by 4. Payne hits it from the stripe. And we got them both. Back to a one-possession ball game here with 1:24 left on the clock and a foul away from the basketball on Matt Dennis. His second, team 8th. Halftime in University Heights, and your Yellow Jackets looking to pull the upset over the Blue Streaks, a 31-28 lead at the half. If the Yellow Jackets can beat John Carroll for the second time this season, they've got a favorable schedule the rest of the way and could very well host the OAC tournament. Hendrickson hits the first from the free throw line, so we'll continue to keep you updated, and best of luck to the Yellow Jackets women's team on the road. Hendrickson one more time, and the junior's right-handed shot is good. 32-27 after both free throws. The first 2 points of the night for Hendrickson, who leads the team on the season with 12.7 points per game, and then he just committed a sloppy foul there, trying to poke one from behind Crow. Hendrickson picks up his first, and Crow will shoot 1 and 1.
As a notice, during timeouts, we ask that fans please give us our
Selmick goes, apologize, not Selmick. Simpson checks out of the ball game, and Tyler Farrell will go play forward. Well, again, with Kucharowicz in the ball game along with Caputo, keep your eye on the matchups between the two of them and Kyle Payne and Tyler Farrell for Baldwin Wallace. As the first free throw drops and makes it a 4-point game. And I say that because BW, especially lately, but for the most part this season on the whole, they've really struggled against forwards for their opposition. Tonight, John Carroll's forwards haven't been too much of a factor, but they've certainly gotten a lot of offensive rebounds as Crow hits both free throws. 32-29, a fairly low-scoring game between two teams who typically score the ball at a much better rate. Hendrickson. Here's Vianchik. Back to Hendrickson. The ball over his head. 1 minute left in the first half. John Carroll leads it by 3 points. The sophomore Vianchik in his first year at John Carroll drives the baseline, puts it up and in. My goodness. Jalen Hollinger commits the foul, and Joey Vianchik with a beautiful reverse layup. He's got 12 points here in the first half. Tough game so far for Jalen Hollinger. 2 fouls, 2 points. He'll stay in there, at least for a minute. Nope, now he'll check out. Simpson and Krakowiak back in for Hollinger and Farrell for BW. So it's a 5-point lead right now for the Blue Streaks at 34-29. And Vianchik is going to try to add to it. So it's now 6 points after the free throw. BW does have to shoot it. About a 16-second difference between game and shot clock. 9 first-half turnovers for BW, 8 for John Carroll. On the right side of the floor, this is Crow. John Carroll with 10 second-chance points, 8 for BW. Crow trying to be patient, 10 to shoot the basketball. Less than 30 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Fairhurst into the corner. Krakowiak with a hand in his face. It's just off. The Blue Streaks get the rebound and can hold for the last shot if they so choose. But Vianchik turns it over, and the Yellow Jackets will likely have the last look. Fairhurst with 7 seconds left throws to Crow. He's open, trying to make something happen. 3 to go, and it's lost out of bounds. It stays with BW with 1.9 on the clock. Plenty of time for a catch and shoot, and you've got great shooters on the floor. Keep your eye on Crow, who's inbounding it and could certainly get it right back. Or if Jordan Murphy wasn't paying attention, he could always throw it off of Murphy too. Murphy just checked in. BW looking for a last-second shot. Backside bounce pass. Simpson bobbles it and doesn't get a shot off, but a foul is called on the Blue Streaks. Oh, is Simpson lucky? We'll see if the foul was whistled before the end of the half. It's going to go against Caputo. And Skylar Simpson will shoot free throws. Head coach Mike Moran is getting an explanation from Jeff Fasicki and Mike McKee. And they're going to say he will shoot 2 free throws. He was in the act of shooting. They're putting a little bit of time back on the clock at 0.2. Well, fans are all up in arms for both teams. Some John Carroll fans yelling at the buzzer blew, and of course, all the BW students are asking for a technical foul on the fairly intense John Carroll coach over on the bench. First free throw's good. (35-30). Even though the scoreboard says 30-2, I think they'll adjust that here momentarily. Simpson one more time, and he missed. So the first half comes to a close with Baldwin Wallace trailing John Carroll 35-30. I would say it was a back and forth first half, but the score was always in favor of John Carroll, except for from the very opening basket when BW hit the first shot of the game. But the Yellow Jackets have certainly been within fighting distance all game long. And we'll head into our halftime intermission here with give you a chance to see some, I assume, dancing on the floor from the Yellow Jackets students. So at the break, 35-30 is the score. We'll be back with some first half stats and analysis here on BWYellowJackets.com. Halftime at Ursprung Gymnasium here in Baldwin Wallace University. Still got about 12 minutes to go before the second half will get underway. Let's take a look at some of the first half stats. John Carroll has had the lead virtually the entire ball game. Just the first basket of the game, Kevin Krakowiak hit a three-pointer. And when he did so, it gave BW a 3-0 lead. But after that, John Carroll has led from wire to wire in that first half. Leading scorer is the sophomore guard Joey Vianchik. 4 of 5 shots from the floor, 3 of them have been three-pointers. He's got 13 points, the only guy for either team in double figures. John Carroll is out-rebounding BW 26-23, and they have scored 10 second chance points off their 10 offensive rebounds. BW with only 5 offensive rebounds, it's turned into 5 points. Each team with 9 turnovers in the first half. The Blue Streaks have scored 13 of their 35 points off of turnovers. John Carroll shot 11 of 35 from the floor in the first half. That's 31%. A pretty tough shooting first half for BW. 8 of 28. That's 28.5%, and they hit 3 of 16 three-pointers. BW, in the first time they played John Carroll, hit 3 of 22 three-pointers. So not particularly a better three-point shooting effort against the Blue Streaks here on their home floor. But again, there's still 20 minutes of basketball ahead of them, and BW has shot the three-point shot, other than maybe Mount Union, better than anybody in conference play all season long. So a 5-point lead can be erased very, very quickly for the Yellow Jackets. Leading scorer for BW, 6 points from Kyle Payne. 4 of those 6 points have come from the free throw line. Payne has 5 rebounds in the contest. Grant Fairhurst leads with 6 rebounds. And it's been a pretty balanced scoring night, even though BW's only hit 8 shots. The only guy in the team who's had multiple field goals is Matt Dennis. He's hit 2 of 2 from the floor. We mentioned that Vianchik has hit 4 of his 5 shots. Nicholas Ruckel has hit 3 of 6. The only other guy for John Carroll who's had multiple baskets in the first half as well. Timeout here in Berea. When we come back, we'll give you a brief look at the second half and tell you about a couple things going on here at Baldwin Wallace University in the near future. We'll be back in a minute. 35-30 at the intermission. BW trailing at half here on BWYellowJackets.com. Welcome back on BWYellowJackets.com. Thanks for joining us here tonight for our broadcast of Baldwin Wallace basketball. Tonight's game is being brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic Sports Health Division, the official health care provider for BW Athletics. For the best in care for your athletic injuries, the Cleveland Clinic is there for you. Call 877-440-TEAM or go online to sports-health.org. Also by Medical Mutual of Ohio. Medical Mutual is a healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. When you're looking to receive great health care, you just can't go wrong with Medical Mutual. In our last segment here, with just under 4 minutes to go before the second half will get underway, let's take a look at some of the scores from around the OAC. And some other good games going on tonight, particularly in Bexley, where the Capital Crusaders at home are right now on upset alert. They've got a 13-point lead, 59-46, with 7:50 left over the Marietta College Pioneers. That would be a big loss for Marietta and potentially could put Wilmington in second place in the conference. Wilmington is currently leading Otterbein at halftime, 44-31. Muskingum is in alliance, and the Purple Raiders at the start of the second half are pummeling Muskingum, 65-30. The only other game in conference tonight, Ohio Northern hosting Heidelberg. It's a 43-38 lead for the Polar Bears with 30 seconds left in the first half. Our halftime score here, 35-30, John Carroll leading Baldwin Wallace. And over in University Heights in the women's game, just into the second half, BW leading John Carroll 34-32. Again, that is a big game for both teams. The winner of that game has the inside edge to the OAC's #1 seed and regular season championship. Final timeout here from Ursprung Gymnasium. When we return, the second half between the Blue Streaks and the Yellow Jackets here on BWYellowJackets.com. Back in Berea, we're ready for the second half between John Carroll and Baldwin Wallace. It's the Blue Streaks 35 and your Yellow Jackets 30 after the intermission has concluded. And maybe the biggest atmospheric change in the second half with these two teams switching sides. Now John Carroll is going to shoot in the general direction of the student section for BW, which is guaranteed to hassle them all second half long. So we'll see if that plays a factor here in the second half. Pretty balanced first half, but the Blue Streaks led it almost the whole way, and immediately a turnover. Vianchik lays it in. Dennis tried to throw it up top to Crow, and 4 seconds into the second half, the Blue Streaks make it a 7-point lead. That was a sloppy turnover here to start the break. Krakowiak over to the right side of the floor. He'll give to Crow. Crow back to Kyle Payne on the left side. Krakowiak, he'll shoot from distance, just short. The rebound goes back to him. He shoots a deep two, and that one's short as well. He got it a second time. His third opportunity misses. He saves it again. Kevin Krakowiak with 3 offensive rebounds. Drives to the rim, throws a reverse layup up, and missed it. But he'll go to the free throw line after the blue streak foul. Jake Hollinger just picked up his 3rd personal in the opening 40 seconds of the second half. Some coaches will tell you, while the common phrase is you can't measure heart, some coaches will tell you you can. And in basketball, those kinds of plays show you when guys play with heart. Kevin Krakowiak keeping that possession alive with 3 personal offensive rebounds. He hit the first free throw, trying to make the most of it, and the second one rims out. So at least he got something for his efforts. Vianchik to the left side of the floor. Hendrickson swings it. Now Ludlow will give to Danny Wallach. Wallach lobs it into the low post. Hollinger working on Payne. Payne goes straight up and forces a miss. Good defense. There's Krakowiak for BW in the white tops and gold numbers. John Carroll in their navy tops trimmed in gold. Payne ball fakes and lost it through the paint. It goes out of bounds and stays with the Jackets. So neither team particularly shooting it well, especially BW. They've hit 3 of 17 three-point shots tonight. That's 26%. Just for comparison on the season, they average 37% from distance. Payne, a deep 2 in the left corner, and he knocked it in. 37-33, the Blue Streaks with a basketball in the lead. Vianchik through the left lane, working around. Good look from Hendrickson to Hollinger, and he missed a layup, but a foul is called. I don't really know what he called. Must have been a 3-second violation. I really don't know what it was. They made no announcement on the PA system either, so very interesting. Well, BW feeling the pressure coming up the floor, but it's controlled between Fairhurst and Crow. Crow kicks into the corner, and Payne shoots a 3, and it's off the mark. But Dennis, 4th offensive rebound of the half. We haven't even played 2 minutes yet. Dennis going to go to the free throw line on John Carroll's 2nd foul this period. We'll see who they whistle it on.
Foul John Carroll.
It's going to go against Joey Vianchik. So Matt Dennis to the stripe. It's only a 64% free throw shooter on the year, but nothing but twine on the first one. Second free throw up and good as well. And it's 39-35. Here's a three-pointer from Vianchik, the leading scorer here this afternoon, or rather this evening. He's got 15, but he missed. Krakowiak wide open for 3. Man, it's just not Kevin's night. You got to keep shooting it, though, because he can certainly hit him. Hendrickson to Ludlow. He'll shoot from dead on, and it's off to the right. Dennis fighting for the rebound, and they have not pointed yet. But it looks like it's going to stay with John Carroll. They'll reset the shot clock, and the Blue Streaks will keep the basketball. Vianchik raises, and it's partially tipped. Dennis got his paws on it. Here's Krakowiak coming up the floor. BW trailing by 4. Payne going to work. Puts it up, and he can't get it to go again. Frustrated that he keeps drawing contact, and he can't get a three-point play to really swing momentum in Yellow Jackets' favor. But he'll still go back to the free throw line. That's the 4th foul on Jake Hollinger. Well, that's notable tonight because Hollinger, who looks like he's a little banged up after that foul, looks like he'll be replaced on the floor by Simon Kucharowicz as the Blue Streaks will bring 5 new faces out. Hollinger, who is a good ball player and one of the 3 juniors on that John Carroll team, second leading rebounder, second leading scorer, but more importantly, Kucharowicz is not playing well this evening. It's now 39-36. So Kucharowicz is going to have a better second half, and Doug Caputo, the freshman, going to have to play well for the Blue Streaks as well. As Kyle Payne shakes his head in disbelief that that one rimmed all the way around twice before it went through the twine. 39-37, BW has pulled within 2 points. The Blue Streaks underneath get an easy layup there from David Lenane as he went underneath and reversed his layup. 41-37, 17-13 left. Payne turns it over. Here's Lenane for the Blue Streaks, 2-on-2, and he tries the finger roll, it missed. Starks had the rebound for a moment, then it was loose on the floor, and Payne and Kucharowicz go hard at each other, and it's a jump ball. I think Kyle Payne was trying to get a timeout, and Kucharowicz dove on top of him. He pats Kyle Payne on the back and says, "Hey man, didn't mean to be too physical there." Lenane slaps the ball, looking to inbound for the Blue Streaks underneath the rack. John Carroll 8-6 in conference play, BW 7-7. The Blue Streaks are tied for 4th with Ohio Northern, BW by themselves in 6th. Capital is 6-8, and they are in 7th place, but currently are beating Marietta tonight. Kucharowicz swings to Ruckel. They had a fresh shot clock, so plenty of time left in the possession. 16:38 left in the second half. Lenane with a deep 2. And the friendly bounce falls on the rebound to Krakowiak. He races up the floor and then slows down on the right side. Fairhurst throws it through Payne's hands, and it's poked away. Here's Caputo. Fairhurst with a very hard foul, but a clean foul. Now he's got to be careful because he already had one intentional foul early in the ball game, and Caputo will go to the free throw line. That's the second personal against Grant Fairhurst, who's only hit one bucket tonight. It was a three-pointer in the first half. Well, BW's done a good job of limiting David Hendrickson's touches when he's been on the floor. The junior guard hit 3-point shots in 4 consecutive trips up the floor when these two teams played in University Heights. But so far tonight, Hendrickson has not been nearly that same factor. He's only got 2 points in his 14 minutes, and both of them are from the free throw line. And Caputo misses 2 free throws. 10 points for Kyle Payne. He's the leading scorer on the floor right now. Farrell takes the inbounds pass. BW zigzagging their way up the floor. There's Krakowiak with it. And Lenane was a little bit too close, and he bumps him. Those are the kind of fouls that have hurt the Blue Streaks this season. And they've hurt John Carroll in the second half here. 4 fouls already on John Carroll in the opening 3 minutes and 46 seconds of the second half. BW trails by 4, trying to cut into it here. They have not led since 3-0 on the first hoop of the game. Kyle Payne almost traveled through the lane, and another foul on John Carroll. Again on David Lenane. So that's his second. And it's the team 5th. Crow will inbound. BW's had a lot of second chance looks here in the second half, but so far they've made John Carroll pay. Fairhurst threw it off Farrell's face. He wasn't ready for it, and the Blue Streaks take it. Lenane with a great look. Kucharowicz slams it home. That brings a few John Carroll fans to their feet on the far side of the floor. Nice feed by David Lenane. No harm, no foul for BW. They're still within 6. Krakowiak uses the hand, kind of clears out contact and puts it in. Nicholas Ruckel not happy, but Krakowiak gets the easy deuce. 43-39, Blue Streaks get it back. They lead by 2. Kucharowicz already having a better second half than he did in the opening frame where he only had 1 basket. That's important for John Carroll because, again, Hollinger playing with 4 fouls. Well, actually, right now he's not playing. 3-on-2. Here's Krakowiak for 3. Nothing but net. 45-42. The Blue Streaks waste no time coming up the floor and shooting a three of their own. And Lenane, the freshman, claps his hands together as he answers the Krakowiak deep shot. Back to a 6-point game. Half-court pressure, rather full-court pressure around the half-court line. And the Blue Streaks will poke it out of bounds. Kucharowicz is replaced on the floor. And Dan Hennessy, the 6'7" sophomore from St. Charles Prep. He was a high school teammate of Bryce Spees, who has not played yet. Dan Hennessy checks in for the first time as Kucharowicz takes a seat. So Hennessy going to try to spare some minutes for Hollinger as well. And another three for the Yellow Jackets, this time Skylar Simpson. His team's trading buckets from distance. 48-45 John Carroll with 14:30 left in the second half. Starks misses at the rim. And that's another one and done for the Blue Streaks. Through the lane, Crow coast to coast. Scott Seville, the official, catches the ball. And it's out of bounds and will stay with BW. Simon Kucharowicz barely had time to take a drink of water before he and his teammates are called back on the floor. Hendrickson, Wallach, Ludlow, Vianchik, and Kucharowicz, who again right now is playing for Hollinger in this rotation. Blue Streaks, for the most part, sticking to a 5-man rotation each way. Kucharowicz tried to grab an offensive, or rather grab a defensive rebound and couldn't do it. Tyler Farrell with good positioning. A three-pointer for the Yellow Jackets would tie it here with 14:10 left in the ball game. Farrell used his dribble. This is Crow. Clears out some space, goes to the rim, and with the right hand just throws a floater up over the outstretched arm of the defender and puts it in. BW is within one at 48-47. They have not led since the opening basket of the game. Hendrickson drew contact to the left side now. Vianchik back to Hendrickson. Ludlow to Wallach. Wallach with a couple jab steps. Here's Kucharowicz. Wallach, a spot three. It's off the mark. So now the Jackets could take the lead if they put it in. It's 48-47 John Carroll. Crow going to try to do it. And the friendly roll goes through. The cheerleaders and fans go crazy, and the Wallach basket quickly gives John Carroll the lead back. My goodness. 50-49, Kucharowicz with his second throwdown of the night. So once again, a back and forth ball game, and now Dwayne Sheldon wants a full timeout. 12:52 left in the second half. That's the first timeout of the game called by BW. We'll be back in a minute on BWYellowJackets.com with your Jackets trailing 50-49. Welcome back to Berea. We're finding there might be an issue with the scoreboard. We'll have to let you know. But right now we'll go with the 50-49, and BW misfires. Matt Dennis underneath, traveled with the basketball, even though the fans don't like it. Now, I've been keeping a running score, and I actually thought that John Carroll, right around the time that the Blue Streaks, I thought they were up 37 to 35, but instead it was 39-35. But I guess the stat sheet I had that was wrong, and the scoreboard was right, so it's 53-49. We apologize for the misinterpretation there. Hendrickson hit that three. It's 53-49. In the women's game, middle of the second half, and the BW Yellow Jackets are up 53-50 over John Carroll. Vianchik went up the floor and was stripped from behind by Matt Dennis. Exactly 12 minutes left here in the second half. It's been a really good ball game. Back and forth, these two teams have battled very hard. And for the most part have answered each other. Neither team, though, is shooting the ball particularly well. Though in the second half, both teams shooting much better. John Carroll up to 37%. And the Blue Streaks, wow, that should be an over the back, or rather over and back. So I think John Carroll catches a little bit of a break there, and a foul on Krakowiak as Matt Dennis goes up and spikes one into the floor. Kucharowicz puts his arm around Vianchik. They're going to call on the foul on Krakowiak. That's his third. Dennis, Simpson, and Crow out. Hollinger, Payne, and Brandy in, along with Fairhurst and Krakowiak. And Murphy replaces Kucharowicz right now. And then finally one more sub, Brandon Gleam, going to check in and replace Krakowiak, who again has 3 fouls. 53-49, the Blue Streaks on the road, leading it by 4 with 11:48 left. Now Ludlow checks out for John Carroll. And Doug Caputo, the freshman forward, checks in. Caputo, a 6'8 freshman from Cardinal Mooney High School in Youngstown. Inbounds pass is lobbed right around the arc there to Murphy. And Vianchik, who threw it into him, and gets it right back. With the left hand, back to the basket. Move the ball around. Good ball rotation for John Carroll. Vianchik, he's going to shoot a 3, just off the mark. Trying to tip it to himself. Wow, nice play by Jordan Murphy, who jumps and throws it off the leg of Hollinger. So John Carroll fights for its life on the offensive side of the floor, and they'll keep it. Wallach receives the pass in the left corner. Yellow Jackets hanging tough. They're only down 4. Wallach loses it as he dribbled into the right corner. Three-pointer didn't go from Vianchik. Kyle Payne clears it. BW plus 4 on the glass right now, 36-32. BW weaving it around the arc, looking for an opening in the John Carroll defense. The freshman Gleam thought he found one and stripped from behind by Hendrickson. Only the hoop in front of him. Not fouled, and he missed the layup, and actually a foul is called on Doug Caputo. So Caputo, who was trailing Hendrickson, the Blue Streaks have missed at least 3 wide open layups tonight. That's the 3rd foul on Doug Caputo. 10:53 left, and BW gets it back, only trailing by 4. Gleam on the right side of the floor. Kyle Payne, the All-OAC player, 3 straight years. Into the left corner now. Fairhurst, he's open for 3. He's dangerous, and he missed. Hollinger, the putback doesn't go, and a foul is called under the hoop. John Carroll's bigs are in trouble. That one's actually going to go against Vianchik, his 3rd, and not Caputo. Hollinger has 4 fouls, and we haven't seen him in a little bit. And he'll stay on the bench right now as Hollinger puts it in. (53-50) now. Kucharowicz checks back in. He's got 2 pretty nice dunks tonight. Starks, Ruckel, Caputo, and Linane, the other 4 for John Carroll, their second group. Gleam and Brandy are the 2 guards as Hollinger misses the free throw. Fairhurst and Kyle Payne, the 5 on the floor for BW. Linane, a transition 3, it missed. Jarred loose under the basket, and the Blue Streaks, as John Carroll calls a timeout, Ruckel fell to the floor and maintained possession. So the Blue Streaks burn their second timeout of the game. We'll take it with them. No. They call the timeout. They're going to roll right through it. So we'll keep it here. 10:24 left in the second half. John Carroll leads at 53-50. BW has only taken one of their 6 timeouts, and the Blue Streaks just burned their second. Ruckel with a slightly errant pass to Kacharowicz. And the Blue Streaks with their 10th turnover. They have forced 15 BW turnovers. Full court pressure certainly has something to do with that. Pretty lively crowd here tonight at Ursprung Gymnasium. Easily the best crowd of the season is Brandy with a beautiful ball fake, lays it in for 2. 53-52, and Ruckel can't get it to go. No goaltending. Kacharowicz back up, doesn't go. Starks the putback, no. Kacharowicz puts it in. My goodness. Way too many offensive rebounds for John Carroll. And admittedly, probably a ticky-tack foul just called on John Carroll. I don't know about that one. It's going to go against David Linane. And the freshman just picked up his 3rd foul. Ludlow will probably Ludlow will replace Caputo, not Linane. So the freshman Ludlow going to be asked to play a little bit bigger here with Kacharowicz, the post player. John Carroll's put BW in the bonus, and Gleam hits the first free throw, putting it now a 55-53 deficit. Gleam hit the front end of the 1-and-1 and hits the back end too. By the way, the women's game is really in favor of BW. 4.5 minutes left, and they lead the Blue Streaks, who are nationally ranked, by 10. There's a chance that they could beat the Blue Streaks for the second time this year as Selmick and Kacharowicz bump each other a little bit, and Selmick is going to get hit with the foul. Kacharowicz kind of pushed him at the end of that, and that's what brought the student section to life, but no foul on Kacharowicz, who then backed away. That's the 3rd foul against BW this half, and the 1st against Selmick, who was only playing in his first couple of minutes tonight. Kacharowicz gets the inbound, throws to Ludlow. That one was tipped on the way up. A foul was called, and Ludlow will go to the free throw line. Once again on Aaron Selmick. So he picks up 2 fouls in 2 seconds. 9:34 left in what has been a very close game, especially in the second half. John Carroll on the road. They lead it by 1 and now by 2. 56-54, 9:34 left. Blue Streaks are 14-7 on the season, and with no seniors and only 3 juniors on this team, a Blue Streak team that has won 7 conference championships during the regular season over the last 10 years, either has won it outright or tied, was lacking leadership this season, and people thought this might be a down year for the Blue Streaks. And in some regards it is, in that they're tied for 4th. Deep 3, it's off the back of the iron, but another offensive rebound keeps it alive. Shooting it again on the left side is Fairhurst. Selmick blocked into the backboard, but a hard foul from Kacharowicz, and that's his 3rd. Boy, did he pound that one into the glass. Kacharowicz has 10 points. Selmick at the free throw line, so those 2 players awfully physical. And Selmick's free throw just grazes the twine. (57-55), that's the first point of the night for Selmick, who looks to add 1 more. And it misfires. These are the 2 worst free throw shooting teams in the conference. BW, the last 4 years, 3 times they've led the OAC from the stripe. Blocking foul, an illegal screen on John Carroll, and BW gets it back. That is the 10th foul against the Blue Streaks in the second half, and Ludlow just picked up his 2nd. They will not send BW to the free throw line, though. as Brandon Gleam checks out. So it's Payne, Selmick. Those are the two forwards for BW. Brandy, Crow, and Fairhurst on the floor for your Yellow Jackets. Starks, Linane, Ruckel, Kacharowicz, and Murphy on the floor for the John Carroll Blue Streaks. Kacharowicz pokes it away and got lucky because all he hit was the basketball. BW fans come to life. Kacharowicz very upset, and he does so with a smile on his face because he would have thrown one down. So Kacharowicz just picked up his fourth foul. Brandy at the free throw line. And the free throw is up and in. Good news for the Yellow Jackets. They're shooting 2 free throws the rest of the way every time they draw a foul. Starks, Ruckel, and Murphy out. Vianchik, Wallach, and Hendrickson back in for John Carroll. BW's only hit 5 of 26 threes, but that free throw ties the game at 57 anyways. So the number 1 team in the preseason in the OAC, this BW squad, who has underachieved this season at 7-7 in conference play, is right there with their crosstown rival. Hendrickson dribbles through his legs and then goes to drive on Brandy, puts it up and is fouled hard as he falls on that brown painted hardcourt. That's the 5th foul against the Jackets here in the second half. And it's going to go against Kyle Payne, his second. Payne has 10 points. He's averaging 16.5 per game. In the first half, he only had 4, and 2 of them came from the line. Hendrickson from the stripe, nothing but net. 58-57, John Carroll leading. Ludlow is replaced on the floor by Murphy. Today's Yellow Jacket game brought to you by Parkway Auto Care in Berea, Strongsville Express Tire and Auto Service, and our new Montville Express Tire and Automotive. We serve the southwestern suburbs of Greater Cleveland and are a large supporter of BW Athletics. Blue Streaks got them both. They lead it by 2. Only 1 lead change and 1 tie in the first half. The second half has seen far more as the Blue Streaks get hit for a blocking foul. Dennis was passing the ball off, but Hendrickson was whistled anyways. And the junior guard, Hendrickson, just picked up his second, but it's 2 free throws for Matt Dennis because it's in the double bonus. Cheerleaders waving their pom-poms down on the other side of the floor. Typically, they're on the baseline that Matt Dennis is shooting towards as he hits the first. But with the student section being moved to the other baseline tonight, they moved things around and cleared out that side of the gym. Dennis hits both. It's 59 all. This one could go right down to the wire. 8:14 left. Dennis with 8 points on the evening. Vianchik throws left side to Hendrickson. The Blue Streaks have turned it over 11 times tonight, 15 for BW. Ironic because those are the season averages for each other's opposition. Hendrickson controls it with under 8 to go. He'll try the right side. 8 to shoot it. Driving the right lane, putting it up in traffic, and he'll go to the free throw line again. Brandy shakes his head. He thought he went straight up. Hendrickson very slow to get up and clearly in some pain. Brandy did go straight up. The foul is actually on Aaron Selmick. So Selmick picks up his third. Tyler Farrell hasn't been in a little bit. No Krakowiak on the floor right now. He has not shot the ball particularly well tonight as Hendrickson will shoot 2. Krakowiak with 11 points. He's hit 2 of 9 3-pointers and only 3 of 14 shots from the floor. But he's done a good job with 8 rebounds, including 1 possession where he shot the ball 4 times because he got 3 of his own offensive rebounds. John Carroll's David Hendrickson hits 1 of 2 and gives the Blue Streaks a 60-59 lead. Selmick is replaced by Matt Dennis. And now Ludlow is going to come in for the Blue Streaks, and Jordan Murphy will check out. John Carroll's strength this season is in its depth. 10 different guys average double-digit minutes and 8 guys have played every game. BW's strength certainly in its three-point shooting, and tonight, not really a strength. They have not shot it well from beyond the arc. But Kyle Payne converts on the layup, and BW takes the lead. 61-60, long way to go. These two teams going back and forth. 7.5 minutes to play. Vianchik with a backdoor pass to Hendrickson, who gives it off, and it's loose on the floor. Hollinger picks it up, throws it up, but no good. Matt Dennis comes away with a rebound. Hollinger trying to play good defense, but remember, he's got 4 fouls. The Blue Streaks trying to figure out why the shot clock is as high as it is. They thought BW had possession the whole time. Kyle Payne throws it up as Hollinger spins off of him to avoid picking up his 5th. And now Mike Moran calls a timeout for the Blue Streaks as BW has taken a 63-63 lead, rather 63-60 lead. Full timeout for the Blue Streaks with 6:57 to go. Your Yellow Jackets with a 63-60 lead as we near the end of regulation. Still some time left though, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a minute on BWYellowJackets.com. Welcome back to Berea. Today's Yellow Jacket basketball game is brought to you by American International. When you require a company with proven performance, rely on American International. Come check out the renovations that they've done on the BW campus when you get a chance. 63-60, Baldwin Wallace with a 3-point lead, 6:57 left. In the women's game in University Heights, BW leads John Carroll 68-59. With 2:14 left. That would be a huge upset for the Yellow Jackets if they can pull it off. Leading scorer in the ball game, 15 points for Vianchik. Krakowiak has not had a good day, but he's got 11 points. He's hit 3 shots. Kyle Payne has 14 for BW. 10 to shoot it for John Carroll, who's got the ball on offense. Shooting toward the student section for the Yellow Jackets. Vianchik forces it up and missed. No whistle. Hollinger playing with 4 fouls for the Blue Streaks. We'll see if Yellow Jacket offensive players will try to drive at him. BW 29-15 all-time at home against John Carroll. That three-pointer a little too long. Brandy with the high offensive rebound. Fairhurst, who thinks he's got unlimited range over there, thought about 3. Bring it back toward the middle of the floor. Out of the right side. Simpson for 3 in the corner. It's too short. It sits on the rim and falls off. Oh, my. Wallach has it for John Carroll. The Blue Streaks need a 3-pointer to tie it. Under 6 to play. Hendrickson pumps and drives, gives to Hollinger. He goes up with the left hand, and it doesn't go. And then he almost fouled Simpson. Here come the Jackets with numbers. Dennis fouled very hard by Vianchik. Joey Vianchik has 4, Simon Kucharowicz has 4, and Jake Hollinger has 4 fouls. Caputo is playing with 3. Ludlow is with 2. David Linane has 3. So the Blue Streaks are very much in foul trouble. That's the 4th again on their sophomore guard and right now leading scorer, Vianchik. Dennis to shoot 2, and he hits the first. Makes it a 64-60 lead for the Yellow Jackets. 9 points in the game for Matt Dennis. Caputo and Kucharowicz are now the forwards. Linane, Ruckle, Starks out there. It's the second group. Dennis will check out here if he makes the free throw. Krakowiak, Crow, Simpson, Payne, and now Fairhurst on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Largest lead of the day for BW at 65-60. Thanks for joining us tonight on BWYellowJackets.com. I'm Brendan Gulick, and this has been a great ball game between 2 staunch crosstown rivals. Starks with his foot on the line, Doesn't get it to go. Kyle Payne clears it for BW. Payne battling a rib injury. He missed one ball game last Wednesday against Mount Union in the 104-98 loss. If you haven't followed BW much this season, they're an incredible three-point shooting team most nights. They hit 18 last Wednesday. Krakowiak, who airs this one and cans it. He hit 9 last Wednesday, a school record, and gives the Yellow Jackets an 8-point lead. Lenane misses the easy bunny, and in transition, BW draws a foul on Nicholas Ruckel. Ruckel has 2. It's 68-60, and this place is starting to come to life. 4:48 left. The Blue Streaks have committed way too many fouls tonight. 23 with still 4:48 left in the second half. 2 free throws for Jaron Crow. He got the first. The Blue Streaks also averaging 85.5 points per game, so they're well below their season average here tonight. Crow one more time, and it's good. He's in double figures with 10. 70-60. Nice little run here by BW, an 11-0 run. Ruckel on the left wing, looking underneath. Now to Lenane. Caputo, he'll shoot it from deep, and it's too long. Crow clears it for Baldwin Wallace. 4:22 left in the ball game. John Carroll with 3 timeouts. Baldwin Wallace still with 5 left. BW, by the way, also at the limit defensively. They've fouled John Carroll 6 times this half. Payne with it at the top of the key to the right. Crow looking for space. He'll raise. Got it! 73-60. It's a 14-0 run for BW and a timeout by the Blue Streaks. Full timeout, John Carroll, and BW's opened up a 12-point advantage. We'll return in a moment on BWYellowJackets.com. Welcome back to Berea. Not exactly a barn burner here tonight, but boy, have the Yellow Jackets played well in the second half. They trailed by as many as 12 in the opening frame. In the second half, they now have their biggest lead of the game at 72-60. The Blue Streaks have not scored in a couple of minutes. It's been 13 straight points for Baldwin Wallace as they've opened up this lead at 72-60. Back in University Heights, the John Carroll women, who are 20th in the country, are losing to your Yellow Jackets 72-63. If BW can hang on there, they'll have an inside track to be the number 1 seed in the conference and potentially win the OAC regular season championship. Under 4 minutes to play here in Berea. Vianchik has it at the top of the arc for John Carroll. Caputo, Kacharowicz, Hendrickson, and Wallach on the floor for the Blue Streaks. Dennis, Payne, Crow, Fairhurst, Krakowiak out there for BW. This is Hendrickson in the right corner. Kyle Payne poked it away and saved it from going out of bounds, and the Yellow Jackets cause another turnover. Inopportune time for the Blue Streaks to turn it over as BW has really had their number the last couple minutes. Crow trying to add to this run. Fairhurst back to Crow. He's wide open, and he drills it. 7th 3-ball of the night for BW. They have awoken in the second half after 3 of 16 from downtown in the first half. Kacharowicz answers with a quick 2. Whistle on the floor just to slow things up for a quick second. Jackets were given permission to run the baseline. Krakowiak comes back to receive the inbounds pass. He's double teamed. It's on the floor, and the Blue Streaks get it and call timeout. So Krakowiak turns it over. Hendrickson gets the steal. Exactly 3 minutes left. John Carroll trailing 75-62 as your Yellow Jackets have really turned it on here the last few minutes. So the Blue Streaks just burned their fourth timeout. Baldwin Wallace still has 2 remaining. A little stat update here. John Carroll is shooting 21 of 62. That's 34%. They've hit 7 of 18 three-pointers and only 13 of 22 free throws, 59%. Baldwin Wallace has hit 20 of 54 shots. That's 37% from the floor, including 7 of 29 threes. They've hit 4 of 13 threes in the second half, but a couple lately. BW's hit 28 of 34 free throws due to 24 John Carroll fouls. That's 82% from the line for the second worst free throw shooting team in the conference in BW. Great night for them from the stripe. That's a big reason why they've not only stayed in the game, but now built this big lead. BW also out-rebounding John Carroll 46-37 as we resume. And Kucharowicz misses. Caputo, the putback. It's too strong. And Crow gets the rebound. Under 3 minutes to play. Krakowiak dribbling at the top of the circle. The Yellow Jackets can smell upset. And I say that only because these two teams are close in the middle of the conference, but BW trailing the Blue Streaks by 1 game. Payne with a lane. Jump stops. Puts it up and missed. Dennis with the rebound. Looking for Spacey, who's partially blocked, and they're going to call a jump ball. Kucharowicz with the block for the Blue Streaks, but the possession arrow keeps it alive for BW. 2:24 left. 75-62, the Jackets lead it. Well, they just called a... Wait a second. They just called a John Carroll foul on the PA system, but it was not a foul. So that was kind of confusing. It's a jump ball, and I think now Mike McKee, the head official, is going to go over to the scores table and say it was just a block up top and a jump ball, so no foul.
Correction, there is no foul on the play.
The student section giving it to the John Carroll bench as they get things sorted out. Inbounds pass into the backcourt. Kyle Payne almost had it ripped away and then traveled with it before crossing the timeline. 17th turnover for the Yellow Jackets. That's more than they average per game this season. But they've got a 13-point lead. It's 75-62 as Simpson leaves in place of Matt Dennis. 2:21 left. Danny Wallach is replaced on the floor. Vianchik, Lenane, Kucharowicz, Hendrickson, Caputo out there for the blue and gold. John Carroll is 4-5 away from home this season, in danger of falling to 4-6. They're 5-2 on their home floor, and they've won all 5 games on neutral courts. This is Vianchik. And a foul on Matt Dennis. Must have bumped him from behind, and that's going to be a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Number 20.
Well, they whistle it on Krakowiak. That's his, I think that's his 4th. Vianchik gets the first. Nope, only 3 on Krakowiak. Upset in University Heights. The Yellow Jackets have knocked off John Carroll and have tied the Blue Streaks for first place in the OAC, 78-71. And if BW wins out, they will win the Ohio Athletic Conference Championship. Payne was fouled hard on the way up by Kucharowicz. He is slow to get up, and I think that's it for Simon.
Foul John Carroll. Number 45.
Well, they've only got 4 fouls on the board, but I'm pretty sure that's his 5th.
University. The BW women have won 78-71.
Well, Announcement here just made at BW that the Yellow Jackets have upset the Blue Streaks. 1:54 left, and Kyle Payne's first free throw is in. (76-63). That's only the fourth on Kucharowicz. I thought it was the fifth. I apologize. Caputo checks out as Hollinger, who has 4 fouls, comes back in. So 3 Blue Streaks playing with 4 fouls right now. Hollinger, Kucharowicz, and Vianchik all on the floor. Lenane has 3 fouls. Hendrickson on the floor. He's got 2. 77-63. John Carroll needs to score, and they need it quickly. It's all BW right now. That one goes in and 1 for Hendrickson. Are you kidding me? How did that fall in? 77-65. He'll get a shot from the line. Hendrickson's got 10. That's the first personal to be whistled against Skylar Simpson tonight. Hendrickson on the season is a 65% free throw shooter, and he connects on the and one opportunity, so it's 77-66. John Carroll led it 60-59, and BW went on a 13-0 run. And right now they're in firm control here late in the second half. 1:43 left with the women winning in University Heights. BW looking for the sweep of the Blue Streaks here today. Krakowiak to the top, it's poked away. Kucharowicz tried to poke it away from Crow and couldn't. And the Yellow Jackets keep it. 90 seconds left, they lead it by 11. And the Yellow Jacket fans can taste it. Krakowiak trying to milk the clock. Baldwin Wallace has been looking for a signature win. They've been pretty good on their home floor. Tonight would be a big momentum shift for them. Late in the shot clock, Payne misses. The ball is loose, and Krakowiak with his 4th offensive rebound of the night, but he can't get it to drop. 1 minute to go. BW leads by 11. Vianchik goes up and is fouled. First foul whistled against Jaron Crow. It would be very difficult for the Blue Streaks to win this game. 59.3 left, but it's not over till it's over. And the first free throw drop missed 10 of their 26 and now 27 free throws. Hollinger gives to Lenane. He'll raise for 3 and airballs it. Kucharowicz to Hendrickson, and he is fouled by Krakowiak. Silly foul from the senior from Valley City. And that's his 4th. So it's 77-67. The Blue Streaks have missed 11 free throws, shooting just 59% from the line. BW's hit 30 of 36 from the charity stripe tonight. That's probably the biggest difference in this game. Yellow Jackets have also hit timely shots in the second half when they needed to, and they really prevented John Carroll in the first half from going on a major run. The Blue Streaks missed a number of layups at the rim, and that hurt their cause too. It's Ruckel, Ludlow, Hendrickson, Lenane, and Vianchik on the floor for the Blue Streaks. As Hendrickson will shoot 1 and 1. 2 free throws, because that was the 10th on BW, but he misses the first. Crow, Dennis, Fairhurst, Payne, and Brandy out there for BW. Just 51 seconds left. Hendrickson got it. 9-point lead for BW. And the Blue Streaks would foul them and maybe send them to the free throw line twice. 5-second inbound violation. John Carroll not going away. Hollinger, Kucharowicz, 2 big players back in. Ruckel and Vianchik, 2 smaller guards. No, Vianchik will stay on the floor. Somebody else checked out. Ludlow checked out. So Lenane will inbound. Not particularly your best shooters necessarily out there right now if you're John Carroll. Inbounds pass goes to Kucharowicz quickly, and only 0.4 comes off the clock before he lays it in. John Carroll immediately calls timeout. So the Blue Streaks, with 1 timeout left, aren't going away. Kucharowicz has 14 points, including 2 thunderous dunks. And I think John Carroll has just rolled through this timeout. So they didn't call a timeout to discuss anything. They just wanted to stop the clock. And now I think BW may have called timeout. Yes, they have. So the Yellow Jackets will burn one of their 4 remaining timeouts with 49.6 left. This game literally is going right down to the wire. And BW, unfortunately, has turned it over a lot tonight, so they're giving John Carroll extra life. Well, the Blue Streaks haven't wanted to take it. BW had the biggest run in the second half, and that's really separated them from John Carroll. As the student section and cheerleaders and fans kind of come to life here, along with the band. If BW wins this game, they will pull into a tie with John Carroll. They will be no worse than 5th. They are currently 6th in the OAC. We'll update you on other games around the conference and the updated OAC standings in the postgame show, so definitely want to stick around for that. John Carroll has won 3 straight. BW, after starting 5-1, has faltered here. They're 6-9 since then. They won 2 of their last 3. Trying to knock off their staunch rivals tonight. Baseball pass up the floor, tipped around. The Blue Streaks get it back. Hendrickson working on Brandy. They get it to Vianchik. Blue Streaks down 3 possessions. Ludlow up, in, and a foul on Kyle Payne. Oh my. That's the last thing that the Yellow Jackets needed there. If you're going to foul him, don't let him score. Kyle Payne just picked up his 3rd, and Ludlow makes it a 5-point game with a free throw coming. That sort of takes the wind out of your sails if you're BW. Ludlow hearing it from the student section, but he got it anyways. 77-73, BW still leads it by 4 with 40 seconds left. The Blue Streaks did not choose to foul immediately, but Ruckel tried to poke it around from behind, and then Fairhurst fell to the floor. Grant Fairhurst is their worst free throw shooter on the floor right now for BW. So I guess if you're, or I'm sorry, not Fairhurst. That was Jaron Crow that was fouled. The Blue Streaks probably wanted to foul Fairhurst, but instead Crow, he's a 75% free throw shooter. Crow could make this very difficult. And the first one spins out. Oh no. Hollinger and Kucharowicz check in for Ludlow and Ruckel for John Carroll. It's still a 4-point game. Again, these are the 2 worst free throw shooting teams in the conference. But BW's hit 30 of 38 tonight. Crow tries to split the pair and does. 5-point lead for the home team. He's got 16 as Brandy is replaced. Payne, Dennis, Crow, Simpson, Fairhurst on the floor. Hollinger with a high screen. Linane gives to Vianchik, and he's fouled on the way up by Matt Dennis. There's still 31 seconds left. This final minute of the game is taking 10 minutes. Matt Dennis just picked up his 3rd person. We just announced an official attendance of 1,712. Biggest crowd of the year for BW here tonight. Vianchik hits the first free throw and keeps it interesting. Well, he needed the first. He's got 17 now, but the second one would make this a 1-possession ball game. We'll see if the Blue Streaks choose to foul or not. Both teams in the double bonus. Vianchik hits it both. It's 78-75. Fairhurst to inbound. He gets it to Crow, racing up the floor. Linane and Ruckel double team him. It's poked away, loose on the floor, and Baldwin Wallace calls timeout. Grant Fairhurst pounced on the loose ball near the midcourt stripe after BW nearly turned it over. The Yellow Jackets suffocating a little bit under the pressure here with the Blue Streak full court press. They've turned it over 20 times tonight. They only average 11 per game this season. So they have struggled with this pressure, but still hold a 3-point lead at home. Don't go away. The final 24 seconds coming up next on BWYellowJackets.com. What a ball game in Berea. 78-75, the Yellow Jackets clinging all of a sudden to a 3-point lead here at home with 23.6 seconds left in regulation. John Carroll led the game 60-59. BW went on a 13-0 run and took a 72-60 lead. But since then, the Blue Streaks have fought back with a 15-6 run. BW has the basketball. They've got 2 timeouts left, both teams in the double bonus. Lots of guys playing in foul trouble, and BW turns it over. Oh, my. It was almost a backcourt violation, and then the ball went out of bounds and apparently was last touched by the Yellow Jackets. Skylar Simpson checks out. Zach Brandy back in, and now Jalen Hollinger going to come in. And he will replace Brandy. So maybe Brandy didn't come, my mistake. Payne, Crow, Dennis, Hollinger, and Fairhurst on the floor for BW. It's Hendrickson, Hollinger, Vianchik, Kucharowicz, and Lenane for the Blue Streaks, who with 20 seconds left could tie it with a 3. BW trying to figure out how a 12-point lead evaporated so quickly. Lenane on the right side to Hendrickson. He's their leading scorer. He'll shoot a 3. It's short. Hollinger with a rebound for BW with 5 seconds left. Kucharowicz fouls him, and that's 5 on the big man. Simon Kucharowicz has fouled out of the game after a really nice performance in the second half. He struggled in the first half, but he's got a double-double in front of what are probably some family and friends. He went to high school just up the street at Mid-Park, which of course is now Berea Mid-Park. So Kucharowicz, 14 points, 10 rebounds in 21 minutes. He has fouled out 6 of 12 from the floor and a couple of thunderous dunks. Hollinger with 2 free throws. One of them would basically put the game out of reach. And he misses the first. Drama building at Ursprung Gymnasium. 1 timeout left for John Carroll, 2 remaining for BW. Hollinger and Vianchik both on the floor for the Blue Streaks. They each have 4 fouls. Hollinger hits the free throw, 79-75, 2-possession lead. Hollinger for the Blue Streaks inbounds. They get it up the floor. Hendrickson for 3. It misses, and the game is over. Baldwin Wallace beats John Carroll in a thriller, 79-75, after shooting the ball very poorly in the first half. When they only hit 3 of 16 threes, they never fell way too far behind, staying close within shooting distance, and they come back. Really had to hang on at the end, but BW is able to hold off the Blue Streaks, who come on the road and put a good effort here tonight. The postgame show coming up next with updated OAC standings and a look at the OAC scoreboard here tonight. Both Yellow Jackets teams knock off the Blue Streaks this evening, here both in Berea and in University Heights. We return in a moment. 79-75 your final. Welcome back on BWYellowJackets.com. where the score has gone final and the Blue Streaks on the road put a good effort together, but Baldwin Wallace fought really hard to stay in it in the first half. They had a 13-0 run in the second half, and they were able to hold off a late Blue Streak surge and win the ball game 79-75. With the win, BW goes to 12-10 on the season. They climb to 8-7 overall. John Carroll with the loss falls to 14-8. They are now 8-7 in the OAC. A final look at the stats tonight. Really nice balanced effort from BW. 16 apiece from Kyle Payne and Jaron Crow. Hey, that's right at their season average. Kevin Krakowiak, who also averages 16 a game, had 14 tonight, along with 9 rebounds, including 4 on the offensive end of the floor. Matt Dennis had 10 points and 7 rebounds. Grant Fairhurst only hit 1 of 8 three-pointers, but really contributed with his 7 rebounds this evening. Jaron Crow, along with his 16 points, had 7 assists on the night. In the second half, even though BW hit only 4 of 13 threes, they drilled 21 of 26 free throws, 32 of 40 free throws on the game. For a team that shoots free throws at a 64% clip on the year, they knocked down 80% of them tonight, and that's what held off the Blue Streaks. BW hit 35% of their shots on the night. John Carroll, who also didn't shoot the ball particularly well, had 34% shooting evening. They hit 7 of 21 threes and only 20 of 32 free throws. The Blue Streaks are the worst free throw shooting team in the league. Game high 19 points from Joey Vianchik. Really nice effort for him tonight. 5 of 11 from the floor, 19 points. He had 6 of 11 from the free throw line. He also drilled 3 three-pointers. 12 points from David Hendrickson, 7 of them from the free throw line. And Simon Kucharowicz is a double-double guy tonight, the only one, 14 points and 10 rebounds. He hit 6 of 12 shots from the floor in the Blue Streaks' defeat. John Carroll outscored BW in the paint 30-20 and off turnovers 26-14. But BW did a good job late in the game and basically just did what they needed to. It wasn't anything that would necessarily show up in the box score other than maybe free throws. They just outplayed John Carroll, and the Blue Streaks tonight lose both games to the men and the women, as the BW Yellow Jackets women's team is now tied with John Carroll on the women's side for the OAC lead. They are both 12-3 in conference, and with games against Marietta, Heidelberg, and Muskingum still to play, the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets women's team absolutely has the inside track for winning the OAC regular season crown and also for hosting the OAC tournament. But those 3 games will come into play down the stretch. All right, as promised, a look at the schedule, the scores from tonight, and then we'll give you the updated standings. Huge win in Capital this evening. The Crusaders, quite frankly, embarrassed Marietta, who was second in the conference, 75-55 the final. Another pretty lopsided score, but one that you expected. Mount Union wins over Muskingum 113-77. Otterbein at home loses to Wilmington 88-67. And Ohio Northern can defend their home court. They beat Heidelberg 96-86. So a look at the updated standings. Now Mount Union is 14-1, and they are 2 games clear of Marietta, who lost at Capital tonight. Marietta's 12-3. Wilmington, with their win, goes to 11-4. Ohio Northern beat Heidelberg, so they are now 9-6. And Ohio Northern is all by themselves in 4th place in the OAC. The Blue Streaks and Yellow Jackets are tied for 5th at 8-7, but essentially BW holds the lead by themselves because they've beaten the Blue Streaks twice this year, so they own that tiebreaker. Capital, who won tonight, is now 7-8. They are in 7th place. Otterbein at 3-12, Muskingum at 2-13, and Heidelberg at 1-14. That rounds out the bottom of the conference. One of those 3 teams will make the OAC tournament. 2 of them will not, as I don't think they have enough time to probably gain ground on Capital with only 3 games remaining. They officially can't. So one of those 3, Otterbein, Muskie, or Heidelberg, will go to the tournament, and the other 2 will be left on the outside looking in. What a night for the Yellow Jackets here tonight, as they were able to hold off John Carroll. Our next broadcast of BW basketball comes your way on Saturday afternoon. That's February 15th. It's the final home regular season game for the men. They will host Marietta on Senior Day. Tip-off is set for 3 p.m. We'll have the pregame show beginning at 2:50. Big thank you to Kevin Ruppel and Jeff Miller, the sports information staff, for helping make tonight's broadcast possible. This has been an exclusive presentation of Yellow Jacket basketball on BWYellowJackets.com. One more time, BW 79, John Carroll 75 as the Jackets sweep the Blue Streaks this season. Thanks for watching Yellow Jacket basketball this evening. We'll talk to you on Saturday for Senior Day. For now, I'm Brendan Gulick. Good night from Ursprung Gymnasium in Berea.